What's up, my bookish dweebs? I finished You Are Here by David Nicholls quite recently, and this was such a David Nicholls book. Now, I've read One Day before, and I think anybody who's watched my videos or watched anything I have to say about One Day, it was one of my favourite books of all time. You Are Here is nowhere near that. It's nowhere near one of my favourite books of all time. It's a much more chilled read. It feels much more like a relaxed, easy read, and something that I think David Nicholls probably put out because he thought it'd just be nice to write that sort of story. Essentially, it's about two people, a woman in her late 30s, a man in his early 40s. They've been in relationships and have come out relationships, and then they meet on a walking holiday. And there's nothing profound or big or grand going on here. They meet on the walking holiday, and they end up kind of really enjoying each other's company, despite the fact they're slightly different, despite the fact that one of them is like a geography teacher, the other one is not a geography teacher, and thus not interested in anything really that he has to say about geography, but finds it endearing that he enjoys geography so much. She's single, she's been single, she has this ethos that people seem to think when you're single you have to go off and do amazing things, take advantage of not having children or a partner or anything to burn you down, but she's like, no, I'm just going to live like a chilled life. There is a kind of past with the male character in this book. Have we got the names on here? I've forgotten the names of them already. I'm off with names. Michael. Marnie is the female Michael. Michael has an ex-wife, and there is kind of a difficult past there in that I think they struggle to have children, and that's why they broke up. And there's still something clinging on for him there, and that's kind of a resistance from him and Marnie. But it's quite interesting really to kind of see two people of that age, and they're not old. No one in their late 30s or early 40s is old, but they are past the age where you've done your young flings, where they've both probably fallen in love at some point and have had their hearts broken, and they're going through this kind of re-emergence of falling in love again and what it's like to be maybe what you would consider young and in love again. It's quite interesting, and that's the element of I loved. It's quite relaxed, it's quite chilled. If you're British, there's a lot of kind of walking in this, and we love walking in Britain. Apparently, Britain in England, apparently a lot of the places are actually fictional, so a lot of the pubs and stuff are fictional, which is a shame because it would have been fun to be able to follow the courses along which they walk. So they do actually like plot out where they're going to start and where they're going to end. Different parts of it, they show the route, that sort of stuff. But apparently it's all fictional, which is a big shame. But big fan of this, nice cozy little read. It was really, really quick. I finished it in like a day and a half. Nice little book to read. It's not going to break your heart. It's not going to melt you down like One Day did. But it's also not going to bore you. I think there's enough in here. There's enough human kind of elements. David Nicholls writes fantastic human characters, as we knew with One Day and as with his other books that I've read as well. And this was another sign of how fantastic David Nicholls is at just getting the British person right and getting British romance right. So that's You Are Here. I think it's You Are Here. Yeah, You Are Here, which is a relevance to when you're on a map and it says You Are Here by David Nicholls. I'd give this like a 4.25 out of 5 stars.